Hello students, this is Mrs. Miller, and the purpose of this video is to go over my question number 1 from The Biggest Gift. The question states this: how do the narrator's feelings for her brother Martin change from the beginning to the end of the story? Support your answer with details from the text. And don't forget, we've talked about if a question asks about how somebody changes or how something changes, you need to talk about how it was at the beginning and how it was at the end. Okay? Here is my response. The narrator goes from feeling annoyed with her brother to feeling appreciative. Remember how we talked about the author and me questions? This is a perfect example of an author and me question. Now, we don't have any information to just transfer over at this point, but we were supposed to use the clues and we had to figure out on our own how she felt. And nowhere in the text does it say the narrator feels annoyed with her brother or she feels appreciative. Those words aren't in the text. You have to figure that out on your own. Now I can go back to the text and I can find a detail that shows that she was annoyed at the beginning and a detail that shows that she's appreciative at the end. This is something else we need to be careful of. Don't just pick a random spot in the story. The question specifically asks how she changes from the beginning to the end. Okay, so I went back to the beginning of the story and I found my detail to support that she's annoyed. The text shows that the narrator was in a bad mood and her brother was doing things to make it worse. I took this right out of the text and I could have put some very specific things that he was doing, and if you did that, that's fine. It says, I was in a rotten mood and Martin was making it worse, so that's the evidence I used to show that she was annoyed with him. You could have put some specific things. Martin refused to help her carry her violin case. He ate all the cookies she wanted. He kept changing the radio station. He kept drumming his knuckles on the door. So those are all things he's doing to make her mood worse. Okay? By the end of the story, the narrator was appreciative because her brother learned part of her solo, and this helped her figure out the part that she kept messing up. Okay, so I summed up that part of the story that talked about when she realized that he learned her solo, and by listening to him and he played along with her, that helps her figure out the part that she messed up. I still took the detail from the story, but I summed it up into my own words. Okay, these details show how the narrator's feelings toward her brother changed. Okay, let me read out through my response and make sure I correctly answered the question. The narrator goes from feeling annoyed with her brother to feeling appreciative. The text shows that the narrator was in a bad mood and her brother was doing things to make it worse. By the end of the story, the narrator was appreciative because her brother learned part of her solo, and this helped her figure out the part that she kept messing up. These details show how the narrator's feelings toward her brother changed, and this is a 2-point response.